the overdue alert. So what happens, some of the notices our team, if by any chance, if they miss filing a reply on the given due date, in need of. So this is a report which gives me how many notices have been responded in a particular date range.
We have Jamku Portal user CA Bhadresh with us. He has been in practice specializing in direct tax practice. Over to you, Bhadresh, if you can share some thoughts on how you have been using AI better optimize your litigation practice, how you have used Jamku Portal and then using AI tools to customize the behavior of the software and your reporting needs.
Thank you, Adarsh, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'll just first introduce myself, CA Bhadresh Doshi, and I'm practicing in the name of Bhadresh Doshi and Associates since last more than 25 years. And our firm is basically specialized into income tax litigation services. And we are handling all the levels of income tax litigation matters, right from assessments, first appeal, and even tribunal appeals. We do handle returnership with corporates in respect of those litigation services. I joined the Jamku as a user about 2020. I think that was a year when you started. So I must be in that first group of the users of Jamku Portal app. Prior to that, our life was miserable, as I think I can put it that way, in terms of this litigation services. And this application, which has been developed by you and your team, has helped us a lot. Prior to this app, we were, missing the deadlines. We were missing even the information about how the proceedings are moving. Notices are being issued or not issued, and the notices were being sent only through emails, never reaching to us. Since we started using this app in our history, in our organization, not a single case we have missed out replying to the notices. If the notices are being issued, we are up to the mark, and we have been able to do we have been able to achieve 100% compliance. And to a great extent, the credit goes to this particular application which you have developed.
Thank you.
So we have been using these applications now since about more than 5 years. And then now, considering the increase in the volume which we are handling, we thought that let us take it to the next level. So although your application is helping us in syncing the data and viewing the data on the calendar dashboard and ensuring that we achieve 100% compliance, but in terms of several other actionables like reports or email communication between the teams and the clients, so we thought that let us take it to the next level. And therefore, what we did is that the API which you have provided and the databases which are accessible through API in a read-only mode, we are accessing those databases through API, and we are bringing these databases inside the Google Sheet. And through the help of AI, we have developed the Google App script, which we have incorporated inside that Google Sheet, and through which we are able to play with the data in the manner in which we wanted. We have just begun. It is just at an elementary level, and I can share whatever we have been able to do. And we are planning to go far as far as all these aspects are concerned. And obviously, we'll be needing your help also in doing the same.
In next 20 minutes or so, we would be covering what he has developed, how the firm is using AI effectively on top of the data which Jamku Portal software generates. Even though for the next session is going to be around direct tax, the exact things can also be implemented with other modules of Jamku as well.
Sure. So I'll just give you a brief background of my thought process, which has gone inside this particular development. So these are just few points which we thought that we need to have it alongside your Jamku application. So the first one is that What we are doing is that we are pulling the entire database through APIs, as I mentioned to you. And then we are adding some of the columns to the database, which we wanted to have better reporting and better interaction with the database. Of course, I'm going to show you live as to what all those, whatever which I'm discussing on this screen, all these broad points, I'm going to show you live on my Google Sheet. But just before jumping into Google Sheet, one should be clear about as to what is the thought process or what is that objective which we are trying to achieve by doing this. So that is the first one. Then second one, we are trying to link the proceedings with one proceeding with the other. So what happens, typically in a one litigation matter, we start with assessment, or nowadays we have some notices prior to assessment, namely 148A. So that is a separate proceeding. Then after completion of that base proceeding, then we have an assessment proceeding. After the assessment order, we have a first appeal proceeding, and after that first appeal proceeding, we have an ITAT appeal. And many times in the ITAT appeals, the orders are passed whereby the matter is once again set aside to for the purpose of assessment or set aside to the CIT appeal in the first appeal. So then there is a round of the proceeding one after another. So what we are trying to achieve in this Google Sheet is that we are giving the linkage of this proceeding. So if I want to know that this particular appeal proceeding, what was that assessment proceeding against which that appeal proceeding has started. So that linkage we are creating inside this Google Sheet, which is helping us in creating that hierarchy of the entire proceeding. So if I want to have an bird's overview of the entire litigation matter, how it traveled along with the dates, so that I can have those reports being built on the basis of that linkage created. We are able to generate a few of the customized reports, which I'm going to show it to you. We are also able to generate the email communication system within our team, or maybe going forward with the clients as well. And many of this email communications are happening on an automatic basis with that trigger which are being defined inside the Google Sheet. We are also planning to have some kind of a dashboard. So obviously your application has a beautiful dashboard and a calendar view. But if we want to know some of the key indicators like KPIs, etc., so we are planning to have a full-fledged dashboard. We have built some part of it, which I'm going to show it to you. And also we are also trying to achieve the client shareable PDF report. So for example, any of my client for whom I am handling a litigation matter, and that particular client or that associate chartered accountant calls us and wants to know as to what is the current status of his appeal proceeding, then upon one click we should be able to generate a report and share that report with the client, which gives the entire information as to when that appeal proceeding started, what all proceedings, what all notices were issued, and how did we respond to those notices, what kind of files we uploaded against those notices. So you know that upon one click, that ready report should be available with us, which we should be able to share it with the client. So these are the broad objective which we are trying to achieve by doing this. And this is that Google Sheet which I was just referring to. So what we have done is that through several modules, you have different APIs for different modules. So proceedings, so we have used all those APIs, and we have just fetched the entire database inside the Google Sheet. And everything is done on an automatic basis through the Google app script, which is running behind this Google Sheet. Uh, Although there is an option of syncing the data manually. So if we have built this custom menu of Jamku Sync, and as you can see that I can even sync this database manually if I want. But that is only a need-based option which is given. But otherwise, at a defined time interval, those API URLs are being accessed and the database is being fetched from those APIs, and this database is being created inside Google Sheet. So we have not used all of these modules. So basically, since we are specialized, as I have already mentioned, we are specialized into litigation services. So we don't need the ITR modules, etc. So we have used limited modules like proceedings and proceeding notices, forms. Even within forms, we have just access form 35, which is meant for filing of the appeals. So whatever limited data which we wanted, through API, we have fetched all this data inside the Google Sheet. And wherever needed, we have built the additional columns. For example, if I just show you just a glimpse of it. So we have the notice URL also. So I can click here and I can just directly go to that notice page inside the application for any reason if I want to see that. So that is also being incorporated. Then we have incorporated additional database data columns like what are the total number of responses which have gone against a particular notice. So for example, here the number is showing as 6. So it gives me an information that against this one particular notice, 6 responses have been filed. Then what is the date of the first response which was filed? What was the type of response? What is the date of last response filed? How many number of attachments have gone against a particular notice? So for example, here you can see 22. So it gives me an information that against this notice, 22 attachments have been uploaded so far on the income tax portal. So this additional columns have been built alongside the existing columns which we are fetching from the database, which helps us in creating whatever reports which we want or we want to interact with the database. So the first step is that we have incorporated database inside the Google Sheet, and these are all various database. So we have notices, then we have responses, we have attachments database, we have ITAT database, several database, whatever whichever database we wanted, we have brought this databases inside the Google Sheet. Then on the basis of this, so this was the first step of bringing databases, adding whatever other columns which we want inside the databases. Then we have created a report dashboard. So on the basis of this, obviously your application gives us several reports, no doubt about it, but we wanted to take it to the next level. So in order to take it to the next level, we have built some of the customized reports. So this is my report database. So what I need to do is that so far we have developed about 6 reports, which my organization wanted to use. So on the basis of our need, we have created this reporting mechanism. So here what I need to do is that I need to enter the date range that I want to, from which date to which date I want to generate this particular report. And after I put this date filter, I can just click on the button. And upon click of the button, within few seconds or minutes, it will generate that required report and it will give me the report. So I'll show you one sample of the report which we built, and that was something which was we were badly in need of. So this is a report which gives me how many notices have been responded in a particular date range. So if you go inside your application, there is no way to find out as to how many notices and which notices have been replied on the basis of date filter. I can use the date filter only on the notices issued or notices synced, etc. But there is no way where I could have applied my date filter on the response date. So here we have built the report which gives us the all the notices which have been replied during a particular date range, and it gives me the numerical information. So total 16 notices were replied, for example, in this particular period. And how many attachments were filed, and then it gives us the list of all the notices, that which particular notices was responded. It gives me the type of response, it gives me what was being written in that particular reply box on the portal. It also gives me total number of attachments, and if needed, here I can click on the view notice and I can go back to that particular notice page inside your application if I want to see something with respect to that particular response which is filed in against that particular notice. So we have built several reports on the basis of need of our organization. I'm not running through each and every report because otherwise it will be consuming a lot of time. But I've just given you an idea as to we need to visualize as to what is needed, and on the basis of this we need to then uh, uh, come out with the required Google Apps script and then assign that script here in the reporting dashboard, and then it will start giving you all the reports. So these are the reporting mechanism which we have built. Then this reporting mechanism, then we have taken it to the next level. So what we did is that we have defined the auto email triggers inside the Google App script. So I'll just show you some of the sample emails which we have developed. I'll have to open my email application. Yeah. So these are the sample emails which we have incorporated. So what happens, all the notices get synced on a daily basis inside the application. So what we have done is that to our admin person of the team, every day midnight, an email goes automatically, and it gives the information as to what all notices have been pulled inside the application. It gives the list of the notices, all the required information with the particular link of the URL of that notice, and it also gives the statistical information as to how many notices have been synced on that particular day. What are the responses? Some of the notices are missing response due date. So all the important information it gives to that admin person, so that then he can start managing all the notices. So this is just a simple email, and it goes on a daily basis, midnight, on an automatic basis after the data, which is also synced on an automatic basis. Another email which we have developed is the overdue alert. So what happens, some of the notices our team, if by any chance, if they miss filing a reply on the given due date or on the due date on which the adjournment period was expiring, then also it will be sending an email to our admin person for taking an immediate action. And this report is color background is also given such that it catches the attention of the admin person that there is something which is wrong, and then that person will start taking actions on the basis of this. So this is an overdue response alert email which is also going. The script will identify that if there is an overdue notices, then only it will trigger this email. If there is no overdue task, the notices, then it will not trigger any email at all. Another just last sample email which I would like to show is with respect to the compliance plan. So what we are doing is that we are assigning teams through the tags. So we have created tags of the entire team, and we assign the team members through these tags, so that concerned person will come to know as to he has to work on this many notices. So this we have also built, that on every Saturday afternoon, the weekly plan, the plan for the next week and also for the coming week will be sent through an email to that person, concerned team member. So this email being sent individually to all the team members. So here you can see that there is a notice compliance plan for Renuka. So this is a compliance plan which gets intimated to that concerned person through an email, that as to how many notices that person has to work, the spread of this particular work. In the coming week one, how many notices will have to be responded? In week two, how many notices will have to be responded? And all other further details of this notices which are also being pulled out. And here we have used our own custom columns as well. So here you can just, for one example, you can see that there is a repeat rank and overdue days. So for any notices, if it has become overdue, the response due date is gone, but not that notice has not yet been replied. It will calculate overdue days and it will be putting it here. So as I mentioned to you, that thanks to your application, that we are being able to achieve full 100% compliance rate. So here I can see that there is no overdue days being written here. It also tells me as to repeat rank. What happens, that nowadays what is happening is that in the same proceeding for the same reason, repetitive notices will be issued. So for example, as I mentioned to you, we are handling first appeal proceedings. Huge number of proceedings we are handling. So what happens, that first notice of hearing is issued and we have already responded. Now, although we have responded, a second notice of hearing is issued. So it tells me a repeat rank, that this is a second repeat notice which has been issued. So that person will be at ease. He will have that background information in his mind, that since this is a second repeat notice, the first notice is already being responded, and he has to just evaluate whether any changes are to be done or not. So these are just internal information which we have built, and this is all automatic. We are not putting anything manually. We have given the logic, and that logic is being used, and all these columns are being generated. So these are some email triggers which we have developed. If I go back to my Google Sheet, so then apart from all those reports, what other thing which we have done is that we have created a dashboard. So this is my dashboard as far as my first appeal proceedings are concerned. So this dashboard gives me information as to how many first appeal proceedings which I have on my plate. Out of that, how many proceedings are such where they have been taken up for hearing and hearing notices are being issued? How many proceedings are such where we have already filed our submissions fully and there is nothing which is pending? How many proceedings are there where I have additional evidences which is involved in that particular proceeding? How many proceedings are there wherein I have a delay and I have filed condonation application for condonation of delay? So all these numbers will be visible, which will help me in understanding where do I stand today. And it also gives the entire list of all the proceedings, and whatever I want to see, I can filter out and I can identify as to which proceedings are pending or which proceedings I need to take up immediately where the submissions are not being filed. So this is my report. I mean, this is my dashboard as far as my first appeal proceedings are concerned. And that linkage of proceeding one with another, which I was just mentioning, is this can be seen here, that in the first appeal proceeding, we have captured the source type and the source date. So what does this mean? It means that it gives me an information. So in the source type, you can see form 35 is mentioned. So it gives me an information that this first appeal proceeding, the origin of this proceeding is form 35, which I had filed. What was the date on which that form 35 was filed? That date is also reflected here. So I can come to know that this was the date of initiation of the entire proceeding. Some of the rows are blank, which is not fetching data because these are still in WIP stage. We have not created the linkage is required to be created manually. So we have not yet been able to complete that work of linkage of my form 35 with the corresponding first appeal proceeding or the assessment proceeding with the appeal proceeding. But I'm just showing you an idea as to how this linkage can be created, and then it can be used in your entire dashboard to understand and to navigate from one proceeding to another proceeding. The last thing which probably I can show you is a customized downloadable report for any particular proceeding. So what we have done is we have created an option to, yeah, so this is generate first appeal PDF report. So once I click this, it will ask me a proceeding request ID to be entered. So I need to pick up that particular proceeding request ID, which is the ID which is created by your application itself. So I need to give an input of that request ID. And once I click this, in the background, it will create the entire PDF report and it will save it in my Google Drive, which then I can download and then I can share it with the client if needed. So I'll just show you one sample report. This is also still in WIP stage. We have not been able to give proper format of the report, but this is how the report looks like. So it gives me the details of that name of that SSC, which PAN number, which assessment year, and what was the date on which that proceeding started, how many total notices have been issued so far, how many responses have been filed, how many total number of files which have been uploaded. And then below that, it gives me details of each notice and all the responses which have been filed against each of these notices. So this is still in a very rough sketch of the report. We need to fine tune this and we need to design it properly, the manner in which we want to have it. But I'm just giving you an idea as to upon one click, you give an input of the proceeding ID and then it will generate the report, which will be a ready report, shareable report. You can email it to the client. Probably going forward, we can also have a feature of, picking up that email ID from the PAN database. So we already have that email address of that particular SSE in the client master, which is also being taken from the API only. So probably we can also have a feature where upon click, email ID also will be picked up from the client master and that report will get emailed to that particular client. So this is just a glimpse of some of the things which we have been able to develop. and we are going to further fine tune this depending upon our needs and the requirements. Over to you, Adarsh.
Thank you for sharing all the details. It was wonderful looking at it, and I'm sure that our Jamku portal users, other users, would be taking inspiration from the work that you have done. If someone is to start working on this, would you like to share some tips, and also would like to know how much total effort it takes and what kind of capabilities a firm should already have in order to build all things? Because as I recall from our all the conversations over the years, this does not require any technical skill set or programming technical skill sets to develop it, things of that.
Yes, so I'll answer your questions. So the tips are that yes, I agree that you need not possess any programming knowledge or knowledge of how to write the code for the Google app. What how we have done this is that basically we have used the AI platforms. We have used Claude AI, and we have given what are our requirements, and on the basis of this, the basic code has been given, and which we have been then able to develop further, and we are being able to use it. What is required is that your thought process should be clear,
Hmm.
that what do you want basically, because otherwise when you start building and after going further, then you realize that okay, what you have built so far is not supporting what requirements you have. So your thought process should be clear. Your designing the entire structure of what you are creating should be very very clear,
Yes.
and then only it will be able to generate what you want. That is number one. And second, you need to have if either you need to have the technical knowledge required for the purpose of coding, or you need to have maybe a paid platform of AI which will be able to help you to generate the required code which you want.
CA Bhadresh has used Claude for this, but there are other solutions like Codex from OpenAI, or if you're looking for something on the lower end of spectrum on the pricing front, we even have Open Code. He has chosen Google Script, but if you are more comfortable with Microsoft things, then almost similar functionality is also available built it into Excel. In that case, instead of scripts, you typically write a few macros, and nowadays the best way to automate this is using Power Queries. And if you are comfortable with Power BI, the entire things can also be automated using Power BI to create graphs and dashboards. Thanks for your time. Thank you, everyone.
Most welcome. Thank you.